Now, Peter Dutton, who was always the steel in the spine of the former government and is now the steel in the spine of the opposition and the man who is showing leadership on how many fronts? He was right on industrial relations. He was right on The Voice. He is right on this. He is right on the need to stand up to anti-Semitism, which is happening before our very own eyes. And he drew a line in the sand and he went hard today in Parliament. I loved it.
Not a chance, because this Prime Minister is as weak as water, and the Australian public are working out what a fake and a fraud he and his government have turned out to be. Now, the Australian public at the moment know that they have got a government who has made every situation in their lives more difficult. We know that the cost of living pressures are putting enormous pressure on families because the government has made incompetent decisions in 2 budgets. We now know that in many parts of the country, Australians are suffering because of a crime crisis in their communities. We know that. How does this Prime Minister respond? He goes off overseas again. Prime Minister, don't leave this country until you have dealt with these issues. Don't hop on the plane again to the United States. You've just met with President Biden, an incredibly important relationship, but you've just met with the President. The first responsibility for you, Prime Minister, is to be here and take care of the Australian public.
Now, a clearly rattled, clearly annoyed Prime Minister being forced to confront the failures of his own administration and his own leadership gave one of the worst performances an Australian Prime Minister has in recent years. He couldn't fight on the issues. Instead, he tried to play the man and then, when all else fails, break glass in case of emergency, have a crack at Sky News prime time.
The opportunism of the Leader of the Opposition has been exposed for all to see here today. But I didn't think that he could go this low as to link these 2 issues, to try to link these 2 issues. And then he tries to link it as well with just to get another crack in the tabloids or to get a hear from Sky After Dark.
Seriously, this bloke is a fake. He is floundering in the job. He is most likely to be returned with a reduced majority at the next election. But when the pressure is applied to this bloke, he's got a glass jaw. You saw that he had his back against the wall today, and rather than defending himself, he turns around and turns it into the personal attack on Peter Dutton. Fine, that's politics. And then have a crack at the media that he doesn't like. The same media that his own government is trying to censor by limiting your ability to read or share it online. Oh, misinformation. No, it's about censoring the internet. Now, as we speak, this bloke is yet again overseas. By the time he gets back, he will have had enough time in the air to fly to the moon and beyond. But this bloke is not Buzz Lightyear. It is not about infinity and beyond. The press pack that have travelled with him have one task and one task only. Ask the bloke questions about the failures of his government, be whether his feet are on the ground in Australia, he's high in the air, or he's overseas. Because this is now a test of those reporters and the wider media. Will they just cover the fluff, or will they actually deal with a country that cares more about the comfort of people who shouldn't be in the country than the bloke who moves to southeast Queensland to get a job but ends up living by the side of the road?